Hi, in this video I'm going to go over why I called this channel Coordinated Cooperation. It goes back to, let's say, 2006 or 2007 when I stumbled onto a podcast about prefab homes, and then I went down this rabbit hole of all sorts of innovations that have been made over the last 100 or 200 years that we're not really using, and it all centered around this one inventor called Buckminster Fuller, who you may know from these little magnetic balls called Bucky balls, or geodesic domes. But he invented a lot of things for his life, and he had this phrase or this belief, this mission to try to make the world work for 100% of humanity in the shortest time possible through spontaneous cooperation with no ecological offense or disadvantage to anyone. So it's a big, long statement, and in the middle there he mentions spontaneous cooperation. He thought the cooperation he saw in the wake of disasters after earthquakes or landslides, mudslides and things like that, people will work together. He termed that spontaneous cooperation. He thought, now that we have all of the innovations and technology to make the world work for 100% of humanity, which he calculated, and he figured we reached that point around the 1970s, 1980s. He thought, okay, now everyone knows it, and we're all going to just spontaneously cooperate and make the world work for 100% of humanity. So obviously that hasn't happened, and I don't know that we're trending in that direction. And even as he said, that generally happens in the wake of a disaster. So I'm thinking, instead of waiting for the disaster, waiting for it all to fall apart, why not coordinate the cooperation? So why not figure out why we're not using the innovations and technologies that we already have in order to make the world work for 100% of humanity? Why not figure out why we're making short-term decisions instead of long-term decisions? So instead of the normal route most people take, is like finding a new solution, a new solar panel, a new compressor, a new water filtration device. I spent the last 10 years or so trying to figure out why we do what we do and why we're not choosing those better options right now. So what I notice is all day, every day, everybody is trying to make the best decisions they can. They're trying to do their best, right? And so it comes down to the individual and all of our individual actions. All of our individual actions equals the state of the world. And if each of us are trying to do the best thing, the way I like to think of that, or kind of paraphrase that, is all of our actions are in the pursuit of, let's say, happiness. So I know we use that term broadly and varies how we use it, but let's just for now think of it as we're all pursuing happiness. So the state of the world equals the sum of all of our pursuits of happiness, right? And if you read any research on happiness, if you read any books on happiness, like one of my favorites is called Happy Money, you'll see that we do not have a great mental model of what is going to get us, what is going to achieve happiness. And most pursuits of happiness end up in being less happy, right? So I don't think that this is something that's beyond us figuring out. It's uncrackable. I think we can crack this mystery of happiness. So what I've done is, in the next, I think I've got a 5 video series. I'll go over my new mental model of happiness, and you guys can let me know what you think. And it, like all models, it's a work in progress. But I've got it summed up for my own ease of memory. I summed it up into 5 simple pictures, 5 simple line drawings, and I'll go over each one of those in its own video, and then we'll have a wrap-up video. Okay, so I'm going to sum this up in these 5 drawings. One video for each. And maybe we won't even put this part in because those are bad drawings.